on, and then press that red one when you get upstairs.
Right.
And put it right.
Right.
It's not showing you at the moment.
No, but it'll come back. I think this. Yeah. Okay. Right.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, it's me.
Hello, hello, Kevin.
Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, it's always stressful getting this on, but here we are.
You haven't quite mastered it single-handedly yet, without
Not
Steve.
yet. No, give me another 50 years.
Oh, please God, yes, yeah. We'll do for your 130th birthday. We have a celebration.
What an interesting thought.
Right, you've done that. Yeah?
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. So, how are you, Kevin?
Yeah, we're doing good. Actually, not doing too badly here. Generally,
right.
It's kind of. I'm finding my life is as busy, if not more busy, than it was before this. I thought I would have hardly anything to do, but it seems to have created different ways, different opportunities for doing things.
Well, one has to adapt.
Yeah, but it's my time is quite, eaten up quite a bit, just in a different way. And I do, and then when I do get a break between things, I make sure I do at least one walk a day. So I have to fit that in.
Right.
So we're just getting by.
Are we gathering this morning? How many have we got so far?
We've got 4. If we have a competition, you can work out people's living rooms by familiarity, but we've got to. Joseph is here. I think everyone just make sure the idea is you make sure you can log on. I always allow half an hour in case there's a panic. What I don't like, and I'm pleased God it's not going to happen at 5:02, someone says, I can't do this, logging in. I really, 5 minutes for the service, they've had it. I feel that we shouldn't have to try and give people technical advice just before service is due to start. So I try and encourage people to get in early if they can.
Yes, sometimes one does need a bit more time than one.
Which like you, it's good for you. Now you can relax. We've got Brigitte again.
Right.
Hello, Brigitte. Adrian.
Yes, yeah.
Hello, we've got Brigitte. Hello.
Hello.
It only seems like yesterday I saw you.
Huh?
It's nice and easy for your pad to stay and to pull up in it.
We've got Danielle here as well.
Hello. I don't know if you can hear me.
You can hear you, Danielle. What you might need to do is start video. I think you're fairly new to this, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't need the video.
We might want to see you, that's all.
No, you don't need to see me.
Oh, they're very shy. Because we don't know what signals you're making. But if you do want to be seen, you know what to do.
Yeah, I do. I'll be drinking my cup of tea and joining in.
Okay, well, fair enough. Everyone's entitled to their own view. What we do, we try to make the service interactive. So I know you normally like well, it's mainly Stephen, but if you do want to participate in anything, then you have to send something on the chat.
Okay, will do. I think Stephen will be joining. I'm in my study and he's in his study. He'll be joining in a minute, I think. I'll just go and get my cup of tea anyway.
Or whatever you need.
Hello, Adrian.
Hello, Adrian. We got.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Hello, Brigitte.
Hello, Anna. Nice to see you.
Likewise, isn't it wonderful?
Yes, very, very good.
Yeah, I've got a question for Adrian. You obviously, I know that you use an
Yeah.
iPad. I know that it varies, but you seem to get it right eventually. I have difficulties where I never use it for short stuff. It's positioning an iPad with two people. What was your advice would you give? Yeah.
Don't try.
Hello, Daniel.
You've got to have it
Well, maybe I did.
landscape.
Landscape.
You can't have it portrait.
Yes.
Portrait is not even good with one. So you've got to have it
It's worth
landscape.
changing your settings.
And you've got to have it.
I think because mine's portrait.
Hello,
Shabbat shalom.
Right.
Hello, Lindsay.
What's got a problem with us, or have you got a problem?
No, I haven't got a problem with you. You're fine. You get
Okay.
it right. I've just had problems myself. When I try, I never use it for synagogue stuff, but I've had more casual, and I've been on my iPad. As what is impossible with two, and with one it's difficult. But you're right. It's because of the orientation.
It's got to be landscape. Yeah.
Okay, and then
And of course, then you've got to have it far enough back so it can get both of
Yes.
you, but not too far away that the microphone won't pick you up.
That's what's been a bit of a struggle. As I say, I wouldn't use it for synagogue. It's more for casual kind of meetings. But if I'm out in the garden, for instance.
Yeah, well, we never know how our streaming is going to be on the patio. We just don't know.
So Daniel, you okay? He's muted, is he? Best thing. There we go.
Daniel, yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, we got Daniel.
All right, I've decided I will go on video, but I'm going to have my cup of tea.
You've got nothing. Listen, there's nothing wrong with anything. Food, drink. As long as you don't talk with your mouth full, it's kind of it makes it a bit more relaxing.
I've done my run, so now I'll have my cup of tea.
All right.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
around Bushy, how far do you do a day then?
Well, I'm still doing 40 miles a week of running.
40 miles. Oh my God.
I do 10 on a Sunday and 5 on other days, basically.
Yeah.
You can hold it so it's safe on it, or is it too difficult?
Yeah, Ted, yeah, but she's sort of fit, but that's.
That's what I just said, that she's enough.
Yeah.
Scale it down.
Because Olivia, misses her park runs, what she used to do on a Saturday morning.
Yes, Hannah's really missing hers. But
well,
both
she
girls
does.
have been doing a bit of running.
So where does she normally do her running? Her
Hannah
park run?
comes over to meet me at Cassiabury and we do it together.
Oh, Cassiabury, yeah, we know some. What's your time? Both your times out of interest.
No, well, I don't go through the finish. My best is 16:40 for 5k, or 16:41. But I don't go through the finish. Hannah does.
Why don't you do the finish?
I don't race anymore. I just run for fun. So I accompany Hannah, and then she goes through the finish.
So hello there, Rosemary, Rania, Hepzibah, Georgia Mary, and anyone else. And Shabbat Shalom. Hang on, I need to unmute people.
Hi, hello,
Shabbat
good morning.
Shalom.
Oh, hello.
And hello, Rosie. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We've got a nice crowd. We've got a minion. That's
Well, most of them night anyway.
So it's that. Have you noticed with
Kevin?
Ron and Bibby? Yeah, hello.
And we're going to switch to our laptop in about a minute or two, because if you with this amount you might want to co-host, and I can't do it on here because it's more limited on a.
Yeah, okay. I could listen. I think I could manage to host on my own.
That's not a problem. We can't see everyone at one shot, so. we
Oh, I
want to
see
go
what you
to
mean.
the-
Okay, you go, then I'll probably,
Yeah.
when you come back, we'll wait for you. Won't start without you. Let me know if you
Lindsay's
get coming
already
back.
logging on. I'll log off at the moment when Lindsay's logged on. So.
Well, we aren't. We aren't. Isn't when the rest we aren't.
No, we are. We're
Oh, when
we're live.
starts, we are,
We're
yeah,
live.
yeah.
Hello, George. Hello, Mary.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to see you. Oh, good to see you. Hi, Daniel.
Can I ask which chapters? Oh, can I ask which chapters you're reading for the Torah reading? Because I've got the Hertz here, so I need to know which chapters.
Well, I'm sure it will be announced.
Yes, but I've got the Hertz.
On mute at the moment.
Yeah.
I've got the
Rosemary,
Hertz.
don't panic. Normally what Joseph, I'll get Joseph to say the page numbers.
He's muted at the moment.
Okay, well, okay, before the service, don't panic, Rosemary. You'll get to your page. You've got what I'm going to do
I just
now.
need to know the chapter. I need to know the chapter.
Yeah, well, you will, Joseph, announce it. He's done this before, Rosemary. He will say he will try to make it so that you're aware. So don't worry.
Yeah.
You'll be able to
I
follow
like
it one way or the other.
I'll tell you in a bit, Rosemary.
Okay.
I like Paul's Siddur.
As sure Joseph will give as many page numbers as he can. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do the link.
Thank you.
You don't feel obliged, Paul.
You spoilt my morning.
Well, I'm having my cup of tea.
Okay, so I'm just actually trying to get a link to the Torah reading.
Yeah, I don't need the page numbers, just the chapters, because I've got the Hertz.
Well, Joseph does it. Don't worry, Rosemary. Joseph will do it. He is part of his.
Yeah, I mean, I so we're reading Kedoshim, Rosemary.
Yeah.
It's the start of Parashat Kedoshim. I don't know the page in the Hertz, but it's the start of Parashat.
I just need the chapters. It's from the beginning.
No, it's Leviticus 19.
Oh, Leviticus 19.
I thought I ought to join in today because I'm on security, so I'll make sure we don't get any Zoom bombing.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You can't do it.
Well, I was on the Kiddush rota, but I'm not doing anything. It's very restful.
You could have sent it round via delivery, Hannah. Hello, everybody. Hi.
Somebody else has joined in.
Hi, Rania.
Hello.
Adia. Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Shalom. Nice to see
Hello.
you.
It wasn't on last week.
Please tell us.
I don't know what service.
Noise. Your head.
Doesn't matter then.
Come here.
Okay, right. I'm just trying to find a link higher, Joshua. I don't know if Joseph, if you can't do it, it doesn't matter. But look, have you got a link to the Torah reading readily available? I normally.
I'll find one now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find it. So if you could do that, that would be put it on the side, so that everyone you can actually follow it. Literally, if you haven't got a Chumash.
Yeah.
seem to be unmuted.
Yeah, at the moment everybody should be unmuted, but there will come a point where
Everybody's unmuted. So
yeah, at the
now-
moment this is your free for all, because I'm going to tell you all to in a polite way not to speak. It's kind of, we find that any noise, but what happens is that you may have background noise in your house and you're not muted, and that does come across. So for instance, in the other room, I confess we've got Graham Norton on the radio, and I'll make sure during the service you won't hear his dulcet tones. No, it's not too
Link
loud.
in the comments, which hopefully works for as a Torah reading.
Okay, yeah, right. So thank you, Joseph. We've got, I've got to save this link in my favourites. We've got a link to the Torah service as well. So Rosemary, there's different ways of following it. Okay, Joseph, are you nearly ready, Joseph?
I can start whenever you like to
Yeah,
start.
okay. So what I'm going to do from the moment Joseph starts, I'm going to mute everybody. And obviously, Joseph will invite people to perform mitzvahs. We want to make this as interactive as possible. What I'll do, I'll ask you to unmute yourselves rather than me, rather it being a battle. But if you have problems, so put your hand up and I'll call out your name, unmute yourselves. But please, can you remember to mute yourself afterwards? It's just if any noise, it makes it difficult. What we're going to do for the Kaddish, I know previously I've got everyone unmuted, but it just gets so distorted. It's only those perhaps of a yacht site, if you want to unmute yourself and perhaps as an undertone, not loudly, join in. Okay, but any communal prayers just needs to be one person. Of course, you're welcome in your muted world to join in and stand and sit and do whatever you want. Okay, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I don't think our service leader needs any introduction amongst us, but I'm really looking forward to this. And these are tough times, but I always find these services really uplifting and help us get through it. All. So you're all now going to be muted unless you've got any questions, which I hope you haven't. And Joseph, go ahead.
Okay, morning everybody. I'll mute myself. So yeah, I'm muting myself.
Thank you for
I hope
this.
you can hear me now. Shabbat Shalom,
Okay.
everybody. Lovely to see you all your lovely smiling faces.
Let's have Mum to say hello to everyone.
It is very, very nice.
Yeah.
And
it just comes through.
we will be following our service 2 today. Actually a guest from last week, but I think it's Ryan. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm going to start with a little niggin, which I've done before.
Mabel says hello.
I can see people mouthing, what page, what page? Don't worry, it will come. It's page 112, service 2. Service 2. Okay, so we will begin with Martavu. So we're at the bottom of page 112. Welcome for anyone who's joined us since I first said hello. Shabbat shalom to you. Can I invite someone to read the passage at the bottom of 112, Eternal God? Someone volunteer to read that passage for us. Anybody? Lindsay's volunteered. Go for it.
Eternal God, a mystery surrounds my life. What came before it and what lies beyond it are shrouded in darkness. But in the darkness is your presence, and in the mystery, your love. No mind can grasp the splendor of your being, no tongue express the majesty of your works. Yet there are times when we sense a reality that is beyond our mortal sight. May this Sabbath be such a time for us. Help us to hear your voice, to find your image in our souls, and to be at peace.
Thank you, Lindsay. On page 113. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bi Tahorahi, Tahorahi. Ata varata, ata yitzata, ata nafachta bi, va'ata mishamra b'kirbi. Kol zaman shehanashama b'kirbi. Modi ani lefanecha, Adonai Elohei, Elohei avotai. Ribon kol ha'ma'asim, Adon kol hanishamot. Baruch
Ata Adonai, asher biyado nefesh kol chai,
kol ish. Baruch Shama V'Haya Ha'olam Baruch Hu. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Ha'olam Amulal B'fi Amo Mushabah Mfuah B'Shol Chazidav Avadav B'Shfachot U'V'Zimrat Negad Lechecha V'Nam Lichecha Malkeinu Yachidei Ha'olamim Baruch Ata Adonai Melech Mohulal Batishbahot. Top of 114. Beautiful poem here. To you, the stars of morning sing. From you, their radiance bright did spring, and steadfast in their vigils day and night. Your angels, flooded with fervour, ring your praise. They teach the holy ones to bring into your house the breath of early light. Perhaps we can have two volunteers to read the responsive sections, the call and response, as it were, on the bottom of 114. Is anyone volunteering? Is that Danielle volunteering? Yep. And anyone else? Is that Alan, I think? Danielle and Alan have volunteered. So perhaps Danielle will go first.
The heavens declare the glory of God.
The sky proclaims God's handiwork.
Day unto day utters speech.
Night unto night teaches knowledge.
Yet there is no speech, there are no words.
Not a sound of them is heard.
And still their call goes out to all the earth.
And their message to the end of the world.
God's teaching is perfect.
Reviving the soul.
God's word is unfailing.
Making wise the simple.
God's precepts are right.
Delighting the mind.
God's commandments are clear.
Enlightening the eyes.
God's doctrine is pure.
Enduring forever.
God's guidance is true.
And altogether just.
They are more to be desired than gold, than any amount of fine gold.
Sweeter than honey from the honeycomb.
Your servant pays heed to them.
For on keeping them much depends.
Who is aware of errors?
Cleanse me therefore of unconscious sins.
Hold back your servant also from willful sins.
Let them not control me.
Then I shall be blameless.
And innocent of grave transgression.
Thank you very much. That was beautifully read, and it gives a much greater sense of kahila, of being together when we share readings. I think it adds to the holiness of the service. So thank you. On page 116. Anim zamirot v'shirim erog, Ki elecha nafshi tarog, Nafshi chinda b'tzel yadecha, Da'at kol rasodecha, Midei dabri, mikvodecha, Homer libi, erdodecha, Yeravna, Sichi alecha, Ki nafshi ta'arog elecha. And we come to Yishtabach. As in past weeks, if you want to stand for anything that's marked to stand, please feel free. Even if we only see your torso, we don't mind. But we also feel free to stick to what I'm going to do. It'll probably be better from a visual perspective for everyone else. ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו, האל המלך הגדול והקדוש בשמיים ובארץ. כי לך נאה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, שיר ושפחה, הלל וזמרה, ברכות והודאות מעתה ועד עולם. ברוך אתה אדוני הבוהה בשירי זמרה. And please turn to page 135, Baruch. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Together, virtually on page 136 in Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzeh or uvrei choshek, oseh shalom uvrei et hakol, hameir la'aretz v'ladarim alecha barachamim, u'tovo machadesh b'chol yom ta'amid, ma'aseh v'reshit, ma'rabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam chochma asita, malach ha'aretz kinenecha, titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, va'al moreh or she'asita, yifarucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai yotzeh hamorot. Perhaps someone could read the next passage at the bottom of 136, either in English or in Hebrew. Volunteer? Paul's just volunteered. Paul just volunteered. That's great. Thank you.
Great is your love for us, eternal God, and abundant your compassion. Our ancestors trusted in you, and you taught them the laws of life. So be gracious to us and teach us. Incline our hearts to hear your words, to know and understand, to learn and teach, and with love to uphold the truths of your Torah. Enlighten us with your teaching, make us faithful to your commandments, and wholehearted in the love and awe of your name. For in love you summon us to serve you and proclaim your unity. We praise you, O God. In love you have called your people Israel to serve you.
Thank you very much, Paul. Anyone who's bursting to read and I'm missing you, feel free to message in the chat. You can message me privately and I will call on you next time if you're too shy to raise your hand, so feel free. We come to the Shema, and it's traditional to sit anyway for the Shema. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Danielle, would you like to sing Lamantis Guru? Go on. Unmute Danielle, she can do that. Wait a second. Wait, there we are.
You can join me. Lamantis Karu, Basitem et kol mitzvotai, Vihitem kadoshim lelohechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotziti etchem meretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem lelohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Thank you very much, Danielle.
Thank you. I think we've got a new choir participant in here, haven't we?
Thank you. Can someone read the next passage, please, on the foot of 138 in either Hebrew or English? Panita volunteered. Thank you.
Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai.
Could you read before that from 138 from the Emet Vayatziv?
I don't think I have that. Sorry, I'm just.
Are you using a different siddur?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have the other siddur.
You don't have the bit that says good and beautiful and true?
I don't think I have. I'm trying to look for it.
So I'm going to come back to you in a second and you can read that. Let's have someone to read good and beautiful and true, or Emet. Hannah. She's still muted. Hannah is
Right. Good and beautiful and true, sound, established and enduring are these words now and forever. True it is, Eternal One, that you are our sovereign God and Redeemer, as you were the God and Redeemer of our ancestors. You are our Maker, the rock of our salvation. We have known you always as our helper and our liberator. There is no God but you. Truly you are first and you are last. We have no Redeemer but you. You redeemed us from Egypt and freed us from the house of bondage. Then with great joy, Moses, Miriam, and all Israel together sang to you this song.
Panita?
Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef ele. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed.
Thank you. I'll now sing that. Thank you very much. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora, nora, nora tehilot osef ele. Shira al shahar shivchu gulim l'shimcha. Al sfat chayam yachad kulam chodu. V'him lechula, v'him lehu ve'amru. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha ne'adar b'kodesh. Nora, nora, nora tehilot osef eleh. Israel, kuma be'ezrat Israel, golenu Adonai, Sabaoth Shemo, Kadosh Israel, Baruch atah Adonai, God Israel.
Before we do your meter, I just got an observation to make. No, Danielle said that Stephen's in another room. I didn't realise the room was that far away. Stephen, what is your backdrop?
California.
California. All right for some. I hope it's hot there.
I thought it might be ancient Egypt. I thought it was the.
That's what I thought. I thought it was.
In some way. It was very clever. Okay, beautiful. Well, all feel free to express your creativity. It's very nice. So we come to the Amidah, on page 140, sort of the central prayer of our service. Everything is kind of warm up to that. Adonai sefertai tagu fia gita hilata. Adonai sefertai tagu fia gita hilata. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rahel, v'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכה חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באחווה. מלך עוזר ומשיח ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומרעית הגשם, מזריח השמש ומרעית הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים. סומק נופלים ורופא עולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני יפה. מי כמוך בגבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך מעמיד ומחייב, ומצמיע ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. And I'm going to do what I've done sometimes in person services before, the one melody of Erev Shashanim through the whole Kedusha. Nakadesh et shim haba'olam b'shem shamagdishim oto b'shmei marom kakatu al yad nevi'eha kakatu Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzavot, Elo kol haaretz kavodo, kavodo malei olam, Baruch kavod Adonai Malkeinu tofiach, בתים לא תעלינו, כי מחכים אנחנו לך, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. Lador, 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 לדובדו נגיד כל אחד, לדובדו, לדובדו, לדובדו נגיד כל אחד, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש, בשמך אלוהינו, ליבנו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. לדובדו, לדובדו, לדובדו נגיד גדלך, לדובדו, לדובדו, לדובדו נגיד גדלך. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Perhaps someone could read the English passage at the bottom of page 142. Yeah, we got a volunteer, Kevin? Yeah, you're unmuted now. Go for it.
Brigitte, you're unmuted.
Okay, thank you. You inspired our ancestors to hallow this day for your service. When upon its coming, we pause to contemplate our life, we learn anew that we do not live by bread alone, but also by the spiritual nourishment we receive when we open ourselves to your influence. We thank you for the Sabbath day and for the opportunity it offers to enhance the quality of our lives. We thank you for its joy and for its peace. May our worship help us to take into our hearts its message of holiness and consecrate all our days by devotion to what is true, beautiful, and good.
עמדת ימים אותו קראת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת בקוראי עונג זכר למעשה בראשית אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו רצה במנוחתנו, קדשנו במצוותיך, ותן חלקנו בתורתך, סבנו מטובך, ושמחנו בשורתך, ותהל ליבנו, לעובדך באמת. מחל הילנו, אדוני אלוהינו, באהבה וברצון שבת קודשך, וינוחו כל ישראל, וקדשי שמך, ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. On page 144, and perhaps someone could offer to read the Ritzay of God in either language.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, is Janet? Oh, she's talking. Or who's doing that? Who wants to do this?
Yeah, it is me, darling, as well. Why do you say that?
Alan, would you like to?
Alan, you're unmuted anyway, so you might as well.
You're unmuted anyway, Alan, so you might as well.
Number 144.
Alan has frozen. Where is it? Does anyone else?
Stephen's offering.
We've got Rosemary. Rosemary, beat Stephen to it.
I'll try in Hebrew. Matei Adonai Eloheinu be'amecha Yisrael utafila tam be'ahava tekabel uta ki leratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha Baruch ata Adonai she'otaha levadaha v'yirach na vod.
Shikoya, Rosemary, thank you very much. I encourage everyone to try Hebrew in these services. It's a good time for trying things out because it's a more relaxed environment. And someone would like to read the next prayer, the Modim, the prayer of thanksgiving in either language. Yeah?
Modim anachnu lach, shatahu Adonai Eloheinu v'alei avotenu la'olam va'ed. Sol hayenu magenishenu, atahu l'dor v'dor. Nodeh lecha nasafer tilatecha, al hayenu hamasarim biyadecha, v'al nishmotenu hakadot lach, v'al nisecha, shebachol yom imanu, v'al niflotecha utovatecha, shebachol eit erev uvoker v'tzacharim. Baruch atah Adonai, atav shemcha u'lecha no'er lahadot. We praise you, O God, source of goodness, to whom our thanks are due.
Thank you, Kevin. Footer 144. Sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uvracha, ben b'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, al kol Yisrael, amen. B'cheinu avinu kulanu ke'echad ba'or panecha, ba'or panecha, nata lanu Adonai Eloheinu. Sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uvracha, ben b'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, al kol Yisrael, amecha. Torat v'hayim ba'ahavat chesed u'tzedaka uvracha, v'rachamim v'chayim v'shalom. Sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uvracha, ben b'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, al kol Yisrael, amecha. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, v'kol ha'amim, v'kol עת, v'kol sha'ah b'shlomecha. Sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uvracha, ben b'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, al kol Yisrael, amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, osei hashalom. Take a few moments of silence. We'll take a little while because it's quite meaningful to be silent together, I think. Ose shalom bimramav, uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol bnei Adam. Okay, I think we're going to continue with our Torah service, which can be found, I think it's 481, I believe. 481. So, as in previous weeks, we continue to do the prayers of Torah service, and you have to use your imagination. And I recommend imagination; it's very good. Think of the scrolls being lifted out, and the liturgy is about kind of journey. We take the scrolls out every week, and it talks about the kind of the ark moving around the wilderness, and kind of we're bringing out Torah metaphorically, and Daniel's illustrating for us, so that helps your imagination. We're bringing out the Torah metaphorically. We're bringing out the ideas metaphorically. We're bringing it every week to go on a journey with Torah and its words and its values. So we're on page 481. 481, and I'll just go. En kamocha Elohim Adonai, en kamasecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha b'chol tov v'tor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yevarek et amo b'shalom. Take the scrolls out. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Gadlul Adonai iti, Ramama Shemo Yagdav. Lacha Adonai, Hagdula, V'Hagvura, V'Hatiferet, V'Hanetza, V'Hahod, V'Hanetza, V'Hahod, Kichol B'Shamayim U'Va'aretz. Lacha Adonai HaMamlacha V'Hamidnaseh, so we come to our Torah reading, and we are reading Parashat Kedoshim. It's actually a double portion today, Acharei Mot, Kedoshim, to get put together to make the cycle work. And we're going to read from the Kedoshim section, which means holiness. And this parasha is literally the heart of the Torah. It is the midpoint of the scroll, and it's kind of like, it's got the kind of sense of meaningless at the heart, morally at the heart of the Torah as well. It's sort of the section where it really starts and ends with two very, very famous verses, as you'll see. I don't have the Hertz Hamesh with me, but we are at Leviticus chapter 19, starting from verse 1. So hopefully that's enough information for you to have it. And if anyone has got the page number of the Hertz and wants to put it in the chat, then feel free to do so. I'm using a different one. I'm using the Eitz Hayim conservative Maksur, which is a very nice Maksur, which I do recommend.
It's page 723 in the Sonshino.
723 in Sonsino, thanks very much. But there is a link in the chat that I placed there earlier, so you can follow it even if you don't have a Chumash. Okay, so
just after 11 o'clock, if you want to scroll up, if you didn't sit in the first instance.
Yeah, it's just there. So and Gillian and Mika are joining us from the living room.
And where's Toby?
He's outside. I know he's very much in demand, but he's had quite a wet week in all the rain. He said he wasn't up to it, I'm afraid. But we've got Gillian and Mika, so you can wave to Mika. There we are. Very nice, very nice. So I would like a couple of people, at least one person, to do an aliyah, and we can have more if people would like to. If you've got anything you're celebrating or marking, or you just like to have an aliyah and read the Torah blessing. So any volunteers for that?
Stephen's
volunteered. Okay.
Just to clarify for people who haven't been around the last couple of weeks, that Toby is in fact a tortoise, I believe.
Thanks for the clarification, Stephen. That's great. Okay, so yes, Stephen will do the best. If anyone else wants to, just like wave at me or post in the chat, and you can do a second aliyah later. So go ahead, Stephen.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamavorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach
Le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bacha banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai notein ha'torah.
Amen. In fact, does someone want to read the Torah in English, so it isn't just me? I just thought of that. Anyone who's got it there want to read it in English? No one's particularly enthusiastic about that idea. Okay.
Shall I carry on, Joseph? I'll read it if you like.
Go on then, Stephen. Great.
What's it? Verse 1 till when?
Verse 1 to 18.
18. Okay. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the whole Israelite community and say to them, you shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. You shall each revere his mother and his father and keep my Sabbaths. I, the Lord, am your God. Do not turn to idols or make molten gods for yourselves. I, the Lord, am your God. When you sacrifice an offering of well-being to the Lord, sacrifice it so that it may be accepted on your behalf. It shall be eaten on the day you sacrifice it or on the day following, but what is left by the third day must be consumed in fire. If it should be eaten on the third day, it is an offensive thing, it will not be acceptable. And he who eats of it shall bear his guilt, for he has profaned what is sacred to the Lord. That person shall be cut off from his kin. When you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not reap all the way to the edges of your field, or gather the gleanings of your harvest. You shall not pick your vineyard bare, or gather the fallen fruit of your vineyard. You shall leave them for the poor and the stranger. I, the Lord, am your God. You shall not steal. You shall not deal deceitfully or falsely with one another. You shall not swear falsely by my name, profaning the name of your God. I am the Lord. You shall not defraud your fellow. You shall not commit robbery. The wages of a laborer shall not remain with you until morning. You shall not insult the deaf or place a stumbling block before the blind. You shall fear your God. I am the Lord. You shall not render an unfair decision. Do not favor the poor or show deference to the rich. Judge your kinsmen fairly. Do not deal basely with your countrymen. Do not profit by the blood of your fellow. I am the Lord. You shall not hate your kinsfolk in your heart. Reprove your kinsman, but incur guilt because of him. You shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against your countrymen. Love your fellow as yourself. I am the Lord. You shall observe my laws. You shall not let your cattle mate with a different kind. You shall not sow your field with two kinds of seed.
Thank you.
You shall not put on cloth from a mixture of two kinds of material.
Thank you, Stephen. A little further, then I'm going to go into English. וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל כל עדת בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם קדושים תהיו, כי קדוש אני אדוני אלוהיכם. איש אמו ואביו תיראו, ואת שבתותי תשמעו, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אל תפנו אל האלילים ואלוהי מסכה לא תעשו לכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. וכי תזבחו זבח שלמים לאדוני, לרצונכם תזבחוהו. ביום זבחכם יחל וממחרת, והנותר עד יום השישי באש יישרף. ואם האכול יאכל ביום השישי, פיגול הוא לא ירצה, ואכלה עוונו יישא, כי את קודש אדוני חילל, ונקרתה הנפש ההיא במעמיה. ובקודשכם את קדשי ארצכם לא תכלה, פאת שדך לקצור, ולקט קדשייך לא תלקט, וחמך לא תעולל, ופת קמך לא תלקט. לעני ולגר תעזוב אותם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. לא תגנובו, ולא תחשו, ולא תשקרו איש בעמיתו, ולא תשבו בשמי לשקר. וחיללת את שם אלוהיך, אני אדוני. לא תעסוק את רעך ולא תגזול, לא תלין ולא תשחיר איתך עד בוקר, לא תקלל חרש לפני עיוור, לא תיתן מכשול, יראת מאלוהיך, אני אדוני. לא תעשו עוול במשפט, לא תישא פני דל, ולא תדע פני גדול, בצדק תשפוט עמיתך. לא תלך רכיל בעמך, לא תעמוד על דם רעך, אני אדוני. לא תשנא את אחיך בלבביך, הוקח תוכיח את עמיתך, ולא תישא עליו חטא. לא תיקם ולא תיטור את בני עמך, ואהבת לרעך כמוך, אני אדוני.
שוכר.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Shikar, Stephen, virtual handshake to you. Baruch Shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael Mikdushato. Do you like the mimes? A great miming, Adrian. That was lovely. Yeah, it really adds something. Thank you. So we now have Haftarah, and our esteemed Zoom host will be reading that for us.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. And also welcome to Edwin from Hems. Good to see you here.
Mosaic Masorti, not him.
Oh, sorry. Oh, slip of a tongue. I was wondering if Mum would spot my deliberate mistake there. I'm sure you answer to many things, Edwin. Okay. Today's Haftorah is from the book of Amos, and I was very pleased when Joseph actually nominated this as the Haftorah reading, because Amos is one of my favourite prophets. It's not because I was a fan of Emmerdale, it's because he was into kind of social justice. A lot of his writing and prophecies are to do with social justices and putting right the disparities between the rich and the poor. The reading that I will be doing will be from chapter 9, verse 7 to 14. This is the end of Amos. It's only found in the JPS on page 1030. This is a really good reading because it's very sort of appropriate, because it's about, again, an injustice and then fighting as basically as an uprising against Israel. There's a lot of evil going on, and Amos was trying to restore Israel, and we have a happy ending and some very upbeat words. And I think it's what we actually need at this sort of time with all the troubles that are going on. So this is definitely a good reading. And this reading is made in loving memory of my mother, Sandra Zients. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bachar b'nviim tovim, v'atzai v'divreihem, hanemarim ba'emet. Baruch atah Adonai, habaher b'torah uv'moshe avdo, if Yisrael amo, v'vi'i ha'emet v'tzedek. To me, O Israelites, you're just like Ethiopians. True, I brought Israel up from the land of Egypt, but also the Philistines from Kator and the Armenians from Kir. Behold, the Lord God has his eye upon the sinful kingdom. I will wipe it off the face of the earth. But I will not wholly wipe out the house of Jacob, declares the Lord. For I will give the order and shake the house of Israel for all the nations, as one shakes sand in a sieve, and not a pebble falls to the ground. All the sinners of my people shall perish by the sword. Who boast, never shall the evil overtake us or come near us. In that day I will set up again the fallen booth of David. I will mend its breaches and set up its ruins anew. I will build it firm as in the days of old, so that they shall possess the rest of Edom, and the nations once attached to my name, declares the Lord, who will bring this to pass. A time is coming, declares the Lord, when the ploughman shall meet the reaper, and the treader of grapes, him holds the bag of seed, with mountains shall drip wine, and the hills shall wave with grain. I will restore my people Israel. They shall rebuild ruined cities and inhabit them. They shall plant vineyards and drink their wine. That part appealed to me for some reason. They shall till gardens and eat their fruits, and I will plant them upon their soul, never more to be uprooted from the soul I have given them, said the Lord your God. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, Sur kol ha'olamim, Sadiq b'chol hadorot, Ha'al ha'nama'im, Ha'ma'av aseh, Ha'mdiber u'kayim, Sheb'chol divrav emet v'tzedek. Al ha'torah, v'al ha'avodah, v'anviyim, v'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, Shana talanu, Adonai Eloheinu, L'kdusham l'chol ha'kavod, L'tiforet, al ha'kol, Adonai Eloheinu, Anachnu modim lach, U'marakim otach, Yitbarach shimcha b'fi kol hai, Tamid le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai. Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Thank you, Kevin. Amen. Shakaya, very well read. Just gonna add one.
What about the singing?
Beautiful. It's like an old Jewish joke. What about the other tie, right? Just one other little thing about it is the start of that Haftarah is a very famous kind of universalist idea that just as God brought out the Israelites from Egypt, God says he did other things to other peoples. God brought out the Philistines from Captor and the Arameans from Kir. So God has a relationship with all other peoples. It's kind of really kind of interesting text. It's not just about the Israelites, we're just one story. So we are now come to our community prayers. So let's have a volunteer to say the prayer for the country, please.
We've got Alison.
Great, thanks, Alison.
Eternal God, whose dominion embraces the universe, we ask your blessing for our sovereign Lady Queen Elizabeth and all the royal family, for those who govern our country and all those who influence the quality of its national life. Make them conscious of their responsibility and teach them to exercise it in accordance with your will. May we all help to fashion in this country a society that excels in freedom and justice, tolerance and compassion, so it may be a right force for righteousness and peace in the life of humanity.
Thank you, Alison. And a volunteer to read the prayer for the community, and George is volunteering. I'll ask you to stop at the bottom of 484 and I'll say a prayer for healing at that point before you carry on. Thanks, George.
Eternal God, as you blessed our ancestors in generations past, bless now this congregation, its leaders and its members, and all who enter the synagogue to meet, to study, and to pray. Comfort the sorrowing hearts among us, and heal those in anxiety or pain.
Thank you. And just at this point, we just think of those that we know that are ill and need healing, whether from the virus or for other conditions that we might not pay so much attention to right now, but are still ongoing. Any name that anyone wants to mention right now? I'm sure maybe just unmute everyone for a moment, perhaps, and then we can just have those names. Hold on a second.
Adrian?
Elliot Rosen.
Thank you. Lindsay?
My cousin.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. We just need to maybe unmute everyone. Okay.
Muted. I mean, the sound's not so good now.
Rosemary, say that again.
Okay, would somebody like to name a loved one?
Okay.
No.
Who's not as
Unmute
needed hearing?
yourself, Adrian. There we are. Oh. It keeps going. I don't know. Anyone else?
My cousin, I'm not muted. Look, I'm not muted.
There you
My
are.
cousin Nikki, her husband Mel, and our friend Lila.
Thank you, Lindsay. Anyone else? Okay, we can name somebody. That's fine. It might be an imaginary person. We're going to sing a little prayer for everyone in need of healing. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah U'Yivarek v'Yafeh et HaCholim Ana Rafana Elna Rafana George to continue with the rest of the prayer community once Kevin unmutes. George, thank you, George. Go ahead.
May we all find here community and friendship, renewal of purpose and hope, a deeper understanding of our heritage, and a sense of your abiding presence. Bless all congregations of the House of Israel throughout the world. Let those who live under oppressive rule soon be freed. And may we all unite to witness to your truth and do your will.
Thank you, George. And someone for the prayer for Israel? Anyone want to offer for that? Danielle's just offered.
Eternal God, our rock and redeemer, grant blessing to the state of Israel, created to fulfill an age-old dream and to be a haven for the oppressed. Inspire its leaders and citizens with faithfulness to the aims of its founders, to develop the land for the benefit of all its inhabitants, and to implement the prophetic ideals of liberty and justice. May they live in harmony with one another and in peace with their neighbours, and cause to come true once more the ancient vision that out of Zion shall go forth Torah and the word of God from Jerusalem.
Thank you, everyone that read. The foot of 486. Hallelujah, Shem Adonai, ki nizkav shemo lavado, Odo al eretz v'shamayim, v'yarem keren le'amo, tehila l'chol chasidav, livnei Yisrael, am karovo, Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And page 489. We'll do it. Ki lecha tov natati lahem, Torati ahav ta'azavu, et hayim hi lamachachazikim ba. ותאמר מיושע דרכיך דהי נועם בכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשוב Thank you. We put the ark back away as
Yeah, well done, Adrian. You did very well there. You did all jobs. Hopper, opening, closing off, dressing, undressing the scrolls. You've got a job there.
Thank you. So, a little bit of a sermon from me. So you might not have realised, but yesterday was a Jewish holiday. The 1st of May, the 1st of May, has long been a folk festival in many countries, marking the start of summer, which I think we can definitely feel has arrived. But May Day is a festival for workers, as a Jewish festival as well, dates back to 1886, when workers in Chicago held a general strike, attempting to get an 8-hour working day. There was a large public event in support of the strike, which ended with much police brutality and bloodshed, and many people died. And this led to the 1st of May becoming a workers' holiday, as it were, marked by socialists across the world, and it became about celebrating the rights workers had already won and resolving to fight for more rights in the future. Maybe less well known is the fact that May Day became widely celebrated by Jewish socialists in Eastern Europe, in America, and in Mandate Palestine, and then in Israel. In the Yiddish secular schools, of which there were many, May Day was celebrated as a Yom Tov, as arguably one of the most important Yom Tovim. This was the era of the Bund, the large-scale Jewish socialist union, a famous Jewish anarchist like Emma Goldman, who was radicalized by the events of Chicago, and of Jewish trade unions who, in London, had a reputation of being some of the most militant trade unions of all. One children's poster for May Day says, Heint is Leute, Sonne und Himmel, und die Erde ist grün und schön. Auf den größten Arbeit Jontef, freile Kinder, lo me gain. Today is clear, sun and sky, and the earth is green and beautiful. On this great workers' holiday, be happy, children, let's go. I think that kind of blends the natural with the workers' element. Jewish socialists use May Day to dream of a bessere und schöne Welt, a better and more beautiful world. And this is very much a secularized idea of Mashiach Zeiten, messianic times. As the Yiddish sweatshop poet Morris Winchesky, who lived in London for many years, wrote, oh, Julian's just coming behind me, he wrote, I might even sing it. Oh, die Welt wird werden jünger und das Leben leichter geringer. Jeder Klogger wird ein Singer, wären Brüder bald. Oh, the world will become younger and life will be lighter, easier. Every complainer will become a singer. It will be, brothers, soon. I'd say it's a coincidence, although we know in Judaism there's no coincidences really, that this year May Day coincides with Parashat Kedoshim, which we just read from. It's definitely the greatest hits parade of the book of Leviticus, although in a book usually concerned with leprosy and priestly sacrifice, that may not be saying very much. But amidst all this technicality comes this, the Holiness Code, a powerful set of moral laws. It's all part of the Torah's project to create a society which is the polar opposite of Mitzrayim of Egypt, with its brutality and autocracy and slavery. It's a transition from being slaves to Pharaoh to being slaves to the God of justice. Kedoshim lays out a simple principle that we all matter. We are told to be holy because God is holy. But holiness is not simply a state of being, something you can sit back and feel good about. Holiness makes demands. They follow immediately afterwards in the next verse. Firstly, revere your father and mother and honour the Sabbath. The Sabbath being perhaps the greatest workers' rights innovation of all time. Do not make idols or molten gods before you, things like money or success or status. And then from verse 10, we have some of the agricultural laws that promote tzedakah, to be understood not as charity but as justice. When you reap your crops, don't take the payah, the edge of the crop, but rather leave it in place for the poor and the refugee. Similarly, don't pick your vineyard absolutely bare, including that which might have fallen on the ground, the fruit that's on the ground, but leave it for those who don't have their own farms, who don't have their own means of growing their own food. Interpreting this purely outside a purely agricultural society, we can see this as a commandment not to maximize profit to the extreme, for owners of companies to leave enough for others to survive on, be they their workers or the wider poor in society. A few verses later, we have a commandment about paying wages on time, not withholding them until morning. Another, not to deal basely with your countrymen or to profit by the blood of your friend. And then, of course, the climax, ve'ahavta l're'echa kamocha, love your neighbour as yourself. Or, as some have translated it, love your neighbour because they are like you. It comes in a verse about not taking vengeance or holding a grudge against your neighbour, instead being in solidarity with them, due to the similarity of all peoples, the similarity of the basic human needs that we all have in common. Many commentators notice the superfluous lamed in the verse. It could be re'echa rather than le re'echa. They suggest that love is too abstract to be a commandment, and Judaism isn't really into commanding emotions. It's into commanding actions and doing things. So it says that these commentators say that instead of focusing on love, you focus on caring about the things that are important to your neighbour. So the lamed represent those things, the neighbour's belongings, the neighbour's needs, those things which are of your neighbour. All of this feels very relevant now, not just because of May Day, but because despite the kind of rhetoric of unity, I think we're a very divided society right now. It might not feel it, but those of us who are staying at home are the privileged ones, because for now at least, we're unlikely to catch the virus or give it to our loved ones. It's the people who are going to work that are in much greater danger of becoming ill. I don't just mean essential workers such as healthcare staff and others doing essential roles. I mean those who are working in factories, warehouses, drivers, construction workers, call centre staff and office workers who most of the time have been given little option but to go into work. A lot of the work they're doing isn't really absolutely essential, such as construction workers continuing to work on house extensions. By some estimates, a third to a half the workforce is still going out to work. These are the ones in the greatest danger because the government hasn't done a full shutdown, rather a partial one. It doesn't feel like that to many of us, but that I think is the case. I can't help but to think that a desire to protect profit is a major reason for this. Our tradition speaks out against this kind of behaviour, this kind of idea of putting profit before people. It's a kind of idol worship. Both May Day and Kedoshim are about creating clear rules through which people's needs are met, and their message is needed today as much as ever. To return to the lyrics of Winchevsky, Los das Volk sich nur nicht bangen, frische Heu sich zu derlangen, wo sich nehmen nicht verlangen, seine Recht euch der Erd. Let the people not fear, and freshly rise up again, and take, not ask, for their rights on the earth. I'm going to finish with a prayer for International Workers' Day, if I can bring it up. And I'm going to see if I'm clever enough to share my screen with you all. No, I can't do that because it's disabled. Don't worry, Kevin. It's not a big deal. I'm going to read a prayer for International Workers' Day.
Joseph, have a go now. I think I've done something that might enable you to get this through.
Great. So, okay. So I'm going to read not all of this, but partly in English. This is a contemporary prayer written by an American rabbi. So it uses lots of Hebrew verses, but I'll read in English. May the one... Hold on. Let's move the... May the one who decreed toil upon humanity, feeding us bread from the sweat of our brow, bless and sustain and support and aid and strengthen and fortify all the workers of Israel and all the workers of the world, servants and maids, working men and working women, farmers and wine pressers, hirelings and artisans, skilled craftspeople and careful designers, all labourers who labour in their labours. And I'm going to go to the end of this, because it's quite long. And in the writings of the sweet singer of Israel, it is sung, saying, growing the grass for the cattle and plants for humanity's work to bring forth bread from the earth. So that's just a little taster of contemporary liturgy to kind of take into our concerns those who are doing work with their hands right now, or those who are doing work on which we all rely. That's a little
Joseph, perhaps you'd like to share the link for
I'll do that. I'll do that. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that now.
Service if anyone actually wants to download it.
I'll do that now. It's from a website called Open Siddur, which has lots of creative liturgy, which I recommend to you. It's a really there we are. It's in the chat now. So we will go on now to conclude our service on page 520 with the Aleinu. 520. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, אשר שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגור עלינו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומשב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומי. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו את פסולתו, פגעתו בתורתו, ידעת היום מעשרות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין. Trusting in you, eternal God, we hope soon to behold the glory of your light, when false gods will vanish from our hearts and idolatry cease forever. Help us to perfect the world by bringing it under your unchallenged rule, when all will invoke your name, relinquish evil, and turn to you alone. May all who dwell on earth come to know that to you every knee must bend and every tongue swear loyalty. Before you let them humble themselves, and to your glorious name let them give honour. Let all submit to your sovereign rule. May that time come soon and last forever. The ultimate sovereignty is yours, and to all eternity you will reign in glory. As it is written, the Eternal One shall reign forever. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. Creator of the universe, you give us life in which joys and sorrows are commingled in accordance with your wisdom, and you send death with its promise of eternal peace. Teach us to accept humbly and courageously whatever burden is laid upon us. Comfort those who mourn, and let the light of faith illumine the darkness of their sorrow with the hope of immortality. Strengthen us at all times with unfailing trust in your providence. And this week we remember those that have yard sites at this time. We remember Bernard Brookman, husband of Muriel Brookman. Abraham and Pauline Butler, grandparents of Brigitte Levine. Rita Foreman, mother of Marcus Foreman. Arnold Green, husband of Adrian Green. Norman Prince, husband of Sharon Prince. Dora Vishnik, mother of Tony Drage and grandmother of Michelle Drage. Sandra Zions, mother of Kevin Zions. Are there any names people would like to mention right now? Anyone that they're thinking of? Okay, so there's no, unless you've got anyone, wave your hands. If you do, I think I'm just going to say Kaddish. Is that correct, Kevin? Yeah, I'll say Kaddish, but please speak along at home, even though you're muted, so we have a sense of saying Kaddish, including for those that have no one to say Kaddish for them. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, v'olma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'hayei d'kol beit Yisrael, b'agla uv'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabba mevarach la'alam u'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'a v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithada v'yitale v'yitalal, shmei l'kudesha b'rechu, le'ela min kol bichata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shalom Rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom mimamav. הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל בני אדם ואמרו אמן.
Thank you.
Announcements.
Yeah, okay. First of all, wow, it goes without saying, I thought after the last service Joseph took, especially with the guest appearance from Toby the Tortoise, I thought it'd take kind of quite a lot of beating, but it was absolutely wonderful. The laying of the Torah reading, the sermon, how you made it so meaningful to the Torah and what's going on. It really was. It's completely uplifted me. I'm sure everyone in this room has had struggles this week. And yeah, it's things are tough, but to have a service like that, it's just so uplifting, and it's kind of put me in the rest of the mind as we tackle what next we've got to follow. So thank you very much, Joseph. And I can see a few thumbs up as I say this. I don't think it's appropriate to do a round of applause, but there's lots of thumbs in the air. So once again, thank you. In fact, we've got some 2 thumbs from people. So it seems you've got the vote for the community. So we look forward to your next one. I would also just like to advise of future services. Next Friday actually will be joined with the Reform, 7 o'clock start. Again, you need to look at the Shabbat notices for the link. And next Shabbat, we've again got Andrew Goldstein. Those who saw his service last month, it was again another really, in his own style, he was able to kind of give us a lift and sort of try to, again, have his alternative slant on how we manage our readings. So that's something to look forward to. Another exciting thing coming up in 3 weeks' time, this is only came up with this idea this week, we'll be linking into the LJ Biennial. For obvious reasons, it's actually been cancelled, the actual real event, which is a massive pity, but it's like any situations, you've got to find ways around it. And they are doing a massive virtual service. This is Friday night and Saturday, involving all communities. And there'll be, I think even Joseph said you might be involved in some way, hopefully. Yes, he is. And it's a good way of just kind of just combining with other communities, networking even, and it'll just be good to be involved in this. Links and everything will be up in due course, but that's something that I'm really, really looking forward to. And also there'll be, like at the biennial, there'll be chat rooms, breakout rooms, so we can have chats on various aspects of Judaism life. So this is something really worth doing. I'm very excited about it and I look forward to it. So I'll be showing the details. So that's me finished. Has anyone else here got any announcements? Put your hand up. Or is that Pat?
Pat, yeah.
Pat, you mute yourself. That's it. Thank you.
I'm muting myself. Yeah. You might have noticed, those of you who see the weekly bulletin, that there's a little challenge, a cross-communal challenge for anybody who has got a smartphone or a camera. We'd like as many people as possible, please, to take part. So can you just pass the message around? We want kids to take part, everybody. So please, will you have a look at that? It will be also in the Kahila when it comes out. And please do as much as you can, just for fun. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you, Pat.
I've got one thing to say. Joseph, well done. But where's Toby?
Very demanding. Next time we'll try.
Okay. I also want to say that if anyone hasn't got a prayer book, I know most of us have. Joshua, you haven't got one, have you? I'll unmute. Joshua, you haven't got a liberal Siddur. I'm happy if you to try and arrange a collection of one from the office. It will take some maneuvering to be able to go and pick one up, but I think we can arrange that. Okay. Is anybody else interested in that who hasn't got a book?
I don't think we can deliver it to France. We could try, but it's unlikely.
Yeah.
You'll have seen that I posted a link in the chat where you can download a PDF of it. So that's
yeah. I'm trying to unmute. Why not show mute?
I'll mute you, agent. There you go. Okay. Anybody else in this room got anything to? Also, I'd just like to mention we've got a number of people on streaming. I mean, we tend to forget about them because they can see us, but we can't see them. But I believe we have something like 5 to 10 people. So whoever you are, I don't know who you are because I can't see you. You're very welcome, and I'd be grateful for any feedback from your other remote view on the service. And if you want to be mentioned, then let me know beforehand, and I'm sure that at least we know that you're there. Okay. Oh, Edwin.
Right. Just to say, following on from Pat's comments, Rabbi Natasha has got afternoon tea and Torah on Mondays at 3 o'clock. Lasts about an hour and a quarter, and it's very fun. And last week we were talking, amongst other things, about haircuts. And last night at the shul service, we had a lot of animals there, and we didn't have any tortoises. We had dogs and cats. So if anybody wants to talk about animals, that can also be at 3 o'clock on Monday. And again, the reference is on the weekly bulletin. And thank you very much for making me feel so welcome today. Greatly appreciate it.
It's great having you.
Thank you.
Right, Joseph, what's the final?
Yeah, so we're going to conclude with Adon Alam, and continuing the theme of May Day, International Workers' Day, I'm going to do this to the tune of Bella Ciao, which many of you hopefully will know, which started out life as a kind of a workers' song in Italy about flower pickers, I think, and became a kind of a partisan song amongst the anti-fascist partisans in the 1940s. So I'm sure you'll pick it up if you don't already know, but I bet many of you do. Adon Allah, Hashem Allah, Terem Kol Yatzini Ra, Le'et Nasar, Beketz HaKol, Azay Melech Shemonika, Ve'acharei, Kiglot HaKol, Levado Yimlok Nora, Behu Haya, Behu Hovei, Behu Yiyeh B'Tifara, Behu Ehad, Ve'en Sheni, L'cham Shilo L'Hagbira, V'li Rukit, V'li Taklit, V'lo Ha'oz V'Hamizra, Behu Eli, he changed him, Behu Eli, B'chai Goli, B'tzochev li B'et Zara, Behu Nisi, Omanus li, Manat Kosi B'yom Ekah, Be'ya'ado, Av Kidruchi, Be'et Ishan Be'ya'ira, Be'iruchi, Be'viati, Adonai li, V'lo ira. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful week. Best you can. Love to see you all.
Right, I think. Oh, Danielle, you got something to say?
She's muted.
Unmute yourself. I won't touch you.
I was just waving goodbye.
Okay.
All right. We've still got Kiddush.
Kiddush.
I should do Kiddush. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Anyone's got one, or they might want to save it till later. It's up to you.
I'll do Kiddush with my not quite wine here.
If you could imagine.
I will imagine.
Anyone got any colours of anything that they want to display or?
Zechor et Yom HaShabbat lekodsho, v'shamru ve'enei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat, v'doratam barit olam, v'niyu ve'en b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et HaShamayim ve'et haaretz, u'vayom hashvi'i, Shabbat va'yinafash. Al ken barach Adonai et Yom HaShabbat v'yikadshehu, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Like other than wine, you can say Shikol nihiyeh bivaro instead. Anyone got a bread they'd like to say a blessing over? I don't have one, so if someone has,
I
then
seem to have something here.
Oh, okay.
Various people are reaching. Oh, Steve.
Why is it in cling film?
You guys getting colours. We haven't we've been doing that. It's very cool.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Pat, do you want to say the blessing, Pat? You're unmuted.
What's that, Mika?
Amen.
Oh, they've got a well done. The way they got a from.
If you didn't hear it, you can say it yourself.
Oh, sorry. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min ha'aretz.
Amen. Shekoyach. Shekoyach to everyone that read. Thank you for your participation.
Put it back.
Thank you, Joseph.
Very much. I'm sorry.
This is a huge.
Sorry?
Is this a huge photograph or what?
I mean, a huge photograph.
Behind.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you,
Shabbat
Joseph.
shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
You all.
You want to wave, Mika?
Yeah. Yeah, you can wave. It's sweet, isn't it?
We put the flag out for Israel Independence Day.
Good.
Oh, very good, very good.
Thank you, Joe. Shalom, everyone.
Just have to pull the flag out. will you?